To You Beautiful, which speaks exactly to what we are going to be talking about today. I did tell you that about 9 o'clock I'll be having my guest and we'll be having a very thoughtful conversation. And just had to play you that song to give you a preamble. Hope you had a great time on sports and hope you had a great time with Daisy and Michael on Eastern Circle. Now let's just dive right into who we have here. We have a very strong woman. I like to use that word. Not every time you hear me using the word strong. And so we have a very strong woman joining us as a guest this morning. And we have Madame Patience Madlion. I hope I got that well. And she's the founder, Shedrach Madlion Foundation. And also she's the convener of I Wear My Scars movement. It's so good to have you join me on the show.
I'm so happy to be here. Actually, good morning.
Good morning. And of course, we're talking about dealing and healing from pain. Some might want to say dealing and healing from the scars. I know from the introduction we already have the movement. So, but let's come back before we get into the movement. Who is Madame Patience?
Okay, so this very small small girl. When people use the word strong, most times I get very apprehensive because I most of the time don't want to be strong. I want to be vulnerable. I want to just sit somewhere and just cry my eyes out. But I've come to realize that you have to pick up yourself, pick up the pieces of your life, and then move on. Scars. I can say categorically that my life has been a roller coaster of events, tragic events, good events, but the one that has shaped me into what I am today, into what you're describing today, are the tragic moments of my life that happened from childhood up to this moment. I can say that I've had a fair share of those events. Recently, not too recently though, I had an encounter with my family on our way back to Kaduna. 2018, actually, on the 6th of April, we were attacked along the Kaduna-Abuja Abuja-Kaduna Expressway along Jere, and my husband was kidnapped alongside my son. And so at that point, my life changed. Everything stopped. I lost him on the process, but my son is fine. And so at that point, I realized that the world will not stop for you. Nobody will stop for you. Everybody has their own issues that they are dealing with. So the earlier you pick up the pieces of your life and then stand up and start, going after the dreams and then the goals that you had, the better, as against sitting down and hoping that somebody will come and sympathize. Yes, they did come sympathize, but this is not their life. Your life is your life. They have their own struggles. And so at that point, I thought about how, if I can be facing this kind of situation at my age, what about those that are going through worse things at a very, very smaller age? And so I know at that point also, we had lots of families that had gone through kidnapping, gone through killings, gone through senseless killings, especially in the north where I reside. So I just felt, okay, you know what, this pain is too much for just me to bear. Let's begin to do something with the pain. Let's begin to talk to people. Let's begin to reach out and form a community, and then let's see that even though we have scars, but that our scars do not define who we become in future. So that was what gave rise to the movement called I Wear My Scars.
Okay, it's some persons are wondering, okay, this is a huge one. Being able to pick up the pieces of your life and say, okay, I'm going to make, it's like what the popular singer was saying, making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
Before you became this strong woman, I have one beautiful thing is that I have had to speak to a couple of people on the show and out of the show about their different levels of how they were able to handle pain. And for each person it is unique,
Completely different.
for each person. You're left intrigued and asking yourself, if I have to go through this type of thing, will my own process be the same? And so this is why I want to be personalized now. I want to personalize yours.
Yeah.
nobody would want to witness what you've witnessed because it's not an easy thing to witness. And by the way, how is your boy?
It's fine. It's
All
all
right.
fine.
All right. So the first thing first is, how were you? Because somebody might definitely be going through something like that, or know someone that is going through something like that, and they will just want to know, okay, how do we come back? We will talk about the movement. We'll talk about how the number of people you have now. I heard the number of people you have, and I'm like, huh? How? So we'll go into that. But how were you able to say, okay, I can't keep being down? Nobody's coming to save me. How did you muster the courage? Because that is the part that I would really want people to learn from.
Okay, so the first reality check for me was when it happened. We were shot at severally on the road. We were shot at about 2 p.m. It was not even late.
Wow.
We were shot out severally, and then the car somersaulted. Like it somersaulted like 4 times. And then it landed. And these guys ran towards the vehicle and they pulled my husband out. He was like wounded. He had a hip like dislocation because we had hit the. And then my son, my 2-year-old son, was not on seatbelt, so he had like a gash on his skull. Then the 9-year-old was dazed. He was on seatbelt, he was dazed. So at that point, they came, pulled him out, hitting him. They didn't even care about So they were hitting him. First and foremost, we were actually lucky because none of the bullets hit any of us. My younger sister was also in the vehicle with me. And so all of us were dazed. So I just saw them running towards the vehicle, pulling my husband out, right? At that point, they had taken him inside the bush, right? And vehicles were parked on this other side. Vehicles were parked on the other side.
Nobody came to help?
Nobody came to help. So even when they had gone, vehicles started moving. I was stopping vehicles and nobody stopped. Okay, so at that point, I wanted to feel so terrible, but I also knew that they were scared for their lives as well. First, it's just human nature that you first secure yourself before you think of helping. But that was like a reality check for me because I felt, oh my God,
nobody's coming.
Nobody's coming. Then they came back after like 15 minutes. When nobody stopped for us, they came back. That was when they saw my son and picked him up, my 9-year-old son.
So that means if these guys had stopped and come at least to help,
probably my son wouldn't have been there. Probably they would have all gone to the hospital at that point or something because my son was bleeding, my sister were all disoriented. Then they came back, they were in search of a phone and saw my boy still in the vehicle. At that point, I didn't even care if they were going to take all of us. So I went back. When they finally had gone, after like almost 2 hours or so, the soldiers came, the police came. I just told myself that it's clear. You're on this journey on your own.
Alone.
Now you're on this journey on your own. I mean, lots of people came by the house and they tried to do all manner of things, but it stuck to my brain that no, you're on your own. As in, this battle is yours. You're going to fight it and you're going to come out. I'm not saying this from the place of, oh, I was a superwoman from day one. No, I was broken. You know this human hair that we have on our hair? I had the human hair fixed. The human hair was as heavy as a house. My hair was as heavy as a house. I practically begged them to like shave off the whole of my hair. I was begging to remove, it was so heavy. Remove everything. And they would not. And they tried like, loosen the hair and all that. It was a painful, traumatic process. I am still healing, I'm not healed yet. But when people look at me, they say, oh, strong woman. I'm like, strong woman. Every other day or every 2 or 3 days or in a week, I'm inside my house. Because I developed anxiety disorder. I developed PTSD. And I have to come out to show my children that
you're strong.
You have to be strong. I mean, I tell my daughter that, anywhere your father wants you to go to or to get to, you will get there because I am not a half human being. I'm a total human being. So I developed this strength from within because I knew that nobody was coming. And when I tell my women in my movement that nobody is coming, nobody is actually coming. Nobody is coming. So at that point, it tells your brain that, okay, so I have to do it by myself. And then your brain begins to act, okay, what next do I do? What next do I do? So it's a crazy process. It's a very, very crazy process. I didn't just get up and I was at a point, I thought I was going to become an alcoholic because I lost all hope. I lost hope in humanity. I lost hope. That one, I lost hope in the government right from the beginning. So I lost hope in the government. I lost hope in everybody, because I just felt that I was not. I mean, they didn't come to my help. You know, so it's not just. I didn't just wake up and become strong. I didn't have much of a choice. Okay, each time I tell people that, okay, so it's not a choice to be strong. It's the option. The only option I had was to be strong.
Being
so,
strong is the
yeah,
only. I mean, if you have to get anything this morning, get it that being strong is the only option you have.
That's the only option. That's the only option.
How did you get your son?
My son, we're still battling. Like, we're still battling. Even yesterday, we talked about it with somebody, and he still once in a while acts out, and I don't blame him. Even if I act out at times, I might not act out the way he's acting out, but it's a traumatic experience that he will never forget, and occasionally he remembers, and as on the 6th of April was like the 7th year remembrance kind of. And when I woke up, I was hoping to like do something different so that he doesn't remember, but he just came to my room and he said, "Today is 6th." I said, yeah, it's 6th. And he said, "Oh, I remember how I was sick." I said, "Okay, so son, it was not just you. All of us went through it. So calm down. And then, you know, I tried to downplay it, but I know that it's not easy for any of us going through that phase. It's not really, really easy. But we're here. He's fine. He's in SS3 now. He's going to be writing his WAEC. I'm hoping and praying for him that he comes out tops. But
of course he will.
The journey was not easy for him. I had to change his school more than 5 times within how many years? We had to change different school more than 5 times because he was not able to cope. People were not understanding that he was going through some kind of thing, and then, you know, when he acts out like that, the school will say something or do something, and I won't be able to, like, you know, stand it, and I'll move him again to another school. Even when I explain to the new school that this is what he's going through and all that, they still don't. But so that's it. That is life. So in everything you do for me, I realize that I'm on my own. Nobody's coming.
So your boy was dealing and processing pain in a different way. Did you try to maybe therapy or something to say? I know that in Nigeria, a lot of us don't really, therapy is not the first thing we think about in this country. So even I try to encourage people, therapy and all of that. So while you were going through this process and you saw that, okay, the way he was processing this pain was really intense on him. Was it like a therapy option on your list to see if that could help him? Yes,
we tried to do therapy at a point, but like you said, most of us in Africa or in Nigeria, we believe that the pastor plays a better role, or in the church plays like a more holistic role than and it's not true. That's not how it should be.
Actually, it's not true.
And again, there's a stigma attached to psychologists or to psychiatrists or stuff. There's a stigma attached that once you get to that level, they think you're mentally ill, you're sick, you're stuff. So, but for me, I just didn't have the presence of mind to like reach out to a therapist. Along the line, some 2 years ago, I met a therapist that knew about the story, that wanted so much to also work with my son. But along the line, she left the country, and so there was no way we could connect. But honestly speaking, it was not easy. It's still not easy. I was hoping that if I have my way of going out of the country at that point, that I will take him and then he'll go through this, but like I said, I just felt that it's something I will deal with, and then it's not funny, but we're dealing with it.
God is helping. Yeah. Let's now talk about your movement. A movement born out of such intensity, let's put it that way. It's almost like your experience is the focal point. And so when people is it for only women?
Mostly women, yes.
Okay.
Even though we have some men hiding under the, but yeah, mostly women.
So when you see these women and men come, they're drawing strength from you to say, okay, this is what is driving us here. If she can't do it, I believe in this cause. If she can't do it, then we also can do it. How many do you have here? And how did you get this? I mean, how were you able to get this number?
Okay, so 2019, I sat in my kitchen, like crying, bawling my eyes out. I was bawling. That was going to be our first Christmas after the burial. without daddy, and so he takes Christmas in a very, not too extreme, but he takes Christmas. We usually have this farm party. We're farmers, by the way, I didn't tell you that.
Yeah.
So we always have this farm parties, and people from the town will come into the village, and then we'll have parties. And so this 2019, there was no party, there was no daddy.
Oh.
And so I was sitting in the kitchen crying my life out, and all of a sudden I kept telling God that, man, this pain is too much for just me. It's not something that I can bear. This is not right. This is not fair. This is not. I just saying all those things, and then he just says, I just heard the voice kind of that everybody wears scars, yeah, but you can choose how you wear your scars. And I'm like, okay, I wear my scars. I wear my scars, because when it happened to me, a lot of people were reaching out to me. After like 6 months, I told myself that my children must eat. I can't beg for them to eat. I can't position myself in that kind of deplorable state where I'm hoping that people will give me food for my children. And because that is the stigma also, that is the whole stereotype about widows. They just feel that widows are people that comes to churches to collect rice and collect wrappers. And so that has already killed me. I'm like, I will never beg for wrapper. Like I will never beg for food. I will train my children to wherever they are supposed to be. God helping me. So at that point, I was already like going out of my way to like tell women that no, begging is a very terrible thing. Don't even try it. I kept saying all those. So I was already having some followers, coming to say, oh, mentor me. I'm like, I can't even mentor myself. Please, I cannot mentor myself. No, so don't even bother. Don't come. So when I heard that voice saying, I wear my scars, that people choose to wear their scars the way they want to wear their scars, I said, okay, fine, let's come and have a community. So I spoke to one or two friends, because I cannot mentor individually, let's have a community where we can put everybody and everybody mentors everybody. And then they said, okay, why? Add me. And then we just started a community. Just 1,000, we celebrated. Oh, we're like 1,000. Oh, wow. 1,000. And then 2,000. And every day I tell them, I said, see, nobody will do it for you. Go out there, no matter how it is, no matter how terrible it looks, go out there and hustle. Like your life depends on it. So people start telling people, and today we're 25,200 women.
Whoa!
All over the world.
Whoa!
We're 25,200. And
wow.
Our core message is that your scars do not define you. You can be scarred physically. I mean, some people see me and they are like, if I don't tell you, you wouldn't know. And that was the whole idea of me coming up with that. I don't want you to define me by how I look or by what I'm going through. Don't even know what I'm going through until I tell you, this is what I'm going through. Then you begin to like, oh, I appreciate, if you can go through this and breathe like this, that means you are a strong woman. So we start talking to ourselves, start prepping ourselves that we cannot afford to be what people are expecting us to be. And these are not widows. These are just normal women or professionals, from different levels in the world. We're all over the world, So if you see any of our member and you say, I wear my scars, and the next thing they will say is, my scars do not define me. Because we have, like I said, we have physical scars. People without one leg, broke, or even people that are born and all that. And because they are still who they are outside or inside that scars, it doesn't define them. My daughter was the one that gave me like a turning point in all this of this. She was 13 at the time. And she was 13 or 14. And she looked at me when I was really down and out. And she told me, say, Mommy, that a widow is a woman that lost her spouse, not her initiatives. So at that point, I was like, no, this is not you that is talking.
Wow.
I think the Holy Spirit is talking through you now. So I said, yes. So I still have my brain. I still have my business acumen. I'm a farmer. I know what to do. If not that the insecurity also affected the farm. I was doing so well in my farm and all that. So I said, okay, since the farm is not a no-go area, what can I do? And that brought me to network marketing. So at network marketing, before my husband passed, he used to feel so terrible when I mentioned in network marketing, because he feels this is where people just lose money. People just lose money. But at the point where I had no other option than network marketing, I put in all my best, I put in my energy, I put in my everything I had. In short, my children will look at it. My son was 3 at the point, and if he sees the parents in the school coming close to me, he would just say, my mommy is going to do Mary with you. Mary is the company I was promoted at that point. He said, my mommy doesn't talk to anybody except if you are going to do Mary with her. So I put in everything I had into that, and I got a breakthrough that I was even I was astonished myself. So there's a level, there's no limit at which one can get to when you decide on your own that nobody is coming. But when you have this mentality that, no, I will pick up my phone and I will say my Indomie is finished, my children's food is finished. Your brain will not work. Your brain has a tendency. I always tell my women, I say, your brain is the laziest part of the human organs. It's the laziest. And so the moment you tell your brain that, Kai, let me send messages to everybody on my phone and say, give me 10,000 naira or something, your brain will just relax. But if you say, no, I cannot beg, I cannot do this, except it becomes too necessary. I'm not saying that you cannot ask for help. Yeah, you can ask for help. But let it not become like a lifestyle.
A lifestyle.
Like a lifestyle. Like, oh, okay, let me call this person today. Our oil is finished, our Maggi is finished. So those are the kind of strong women that we're bringing or we're pushing in I Wear My Scars movement. We're telling them that, no, I don't care how, even if you are a master's degree, go out there, go to somebody's house, knock at the gate, tell her that you can clean. Tell her that I can wash. Tell her that I can do I can go to the market for you. I know you're very busy. I can make stew for you. And make money honorably. So I always tell them, see, if it is legal and if it is morally right, please make that money. You have to make that money.
Wow, this is actually a whole lot. When we started that conversation and I said a strong woman, you said no, that you are a vulnerable woman. These days and time, a lot of people, personally, I don't even like being described as strong because I mean, exactly, I don't like being described as strong because when you describe me as strong, I feel like you're losing sight of the fact that I'm a human being.
And I'm struggling too.
Exactly. I don't like being described as strong. So, but in this day and time, a lot of people they want to be described as strong. What is that thing that differentiates a vulnerable human versus? So you are vulnerable, are you able to achieve all of this? Yeah. And some persons will just say, oh, she's strong for that. What's the difference between allowing your vulnerability show versus saying, oh, I am strong?
Okay, so it boils down to mentality, your mentality. What do you see? It's just that way of saying a glass is half full and a glass is
half empty.
Empty. So if I feel that my vulnerable state, it's going to help me, motivate me to be that person that I want to be, at that point I will choose that, oh, I'm vulnerable, please do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. But if I feel that my strength is what you are about, I will show my strength. Honestly speaking, I think that when you say somebody is strong, it's a complete process. It's not as if someone wakes up and becomes strong. It's a process where you tell yourself that, yes, I'm vulnerable, but it will not define me. I am vulnerable, but I won't let anybody see my vulnerability. I'm going to come out as though I am the strongest of all. And when I go back inside my closet, I'm going to break down and cry as much as I can. But when I'm out there, I will just be as strong as I can be. So it has helped me a lot. Most people, I tell my women in the group that nobody likes to pour water into an empty vessel. People love to help someone that is already doing something. And I say it all the time. Be at the place of hustle. Let your destiny helper meet you at the place of hustle. It's two things. If I come to you, for instance, and I say, man, there's a business I want us to do together. I need $1 million from you. This business will give me this, will give me this, give me that. And I come to, and another person comes to you and say, see, my children have not eaten, or I have not been able to pay school fees. I need $1 million. Who will you give?
The person with the business.
The person with the business, because the person has, there'll be returns. That is how it is. Nobody likes to, Dangote, for instance, I just go and meet him. I see him, the opportunity I have to see him in my lifetime, and I go and meet him and say, oh, my children's school fees are not done. He will just think something is wrong with you, because he feels that if you have the sense to meet him, I mean, the right wisdom, what you should ask of him is, what can I do with you, sir, so I can be able to take care of my children? So at that point, you are showing your strengths. Sir, I am good at this, I am good at that. If you put me in marketing, I can do all this. If you put me in production, sir, you won't miss it. If you do and then all of a sudden, he just says, you know what, this girl, she looks smart. And she looks, and then she gives you that opportunity. But you go there and you're vulnerable, and nobody gives you that kind of opportunity. So I told myself from that time, I can say all this every day, oh, my husband died, oh, they kidnapped us, and they did one thing, and there's a level at which you to get to, and people get tired of the
story.
Of that narrative. They will get tired of the narrative. They are okay, it has happened. Not only you happen to now. I mean, it happened, it's continuing. So what are you doing with your life after that? Are you sitting down and lamenting? Because I usually tell my women that time that it's either you open a book of lamentation and sit down on the floor and lament, or you go out there and then you hustle, so that tomorrow anybody looking at you will just say, amen, she try. Okay, let's help her with this. So that is it.
I must say that when somebody, I mean, and it's also a good thing, because when someone like you is talking to people about, dealing and healing from their pain and how to make beautiful, fantastic, mouth-watering lemonades from their lemons, people will tend to listen to you more. Because if someone like you who have been through a lot can step out and say, do this, do this, do this, then there's a lot of credibility in what you're saying. Now, I do know that at this point, we are not there yet when it comes to our security architecture, where we still, our roads, you're smiling now, our roads are still not safe. That's the truth. We're still hearing incidences of insecurity every now and then. So they are not even guaranteed to say that what happened in 2018 has not even happened to another family again.
It's still happening even now.
Exactly. How would you describe government's effort in, sorting out the issue of insecurity, and what effort was put in your own situation?
Okay, so when I mentioned that I have been almost a customer to these tragic things, I lost my mother 18 years ago. In the same process.
Wow.
So you understand when I say I lost my mother 18 years ago. She was coming back on the trip and they met armed robbers.
Wow.
And that was how she died at 49. And then my husband passed at 45.
Wow.
So you see, on the 3rd of April 2018, my husband, the car that they attacked us on, took me to somewhere in Abuja and then bought me that car and said, okay, you have mourned your mom for like 11 years. Let it go. This is my gift, my parting, gift.
And that was the car that
was the
had
car
this incident.
On the 6th. So this is me trying to come out of that whole thingy, because she was just 49. I was 30. I had my first child. And then no goodbyes, nothing. And then armed robbers just took her away from us like that. And okay, he bought me the car. We quarreled in the car shop. I said, I don't want a car. I just want my mom back if it's possible, right? And then we went on the 6th. We were attacked. I don't know what to say, because I stopped going by road anywhere. I stopped. If you want me to go anywhere by you and just you say road, that's it. I'm not coming. I won't come. Because it's not because I'm proud or something, but I have this very serious anxiety whenever I'm on the road. So if anybody crosses the road, like you want to that I run across the road, I'll develop panic attacks immediately. So what is the government doing? I don't know. I can't get to my farm. I have a farm that has 60,000 capacity poultry. I can send you pictures. I have a farm that is over 100 hectares. I can't get to my farm. Wow. For the past 3 years, I can't get to my farm.
Where is your farm located?
It's in Kaduna.
Ooh.
It's in Duse, a place called Duse Gogwada in Kaduna. So I can't get to this farm. So my livelihood was not just, it's not that my husband was taken away from me. My livelihood was taken away from me. And the government is not telling me anything on how I'm supposed to go back to that farm for the past 6-7 years. I don't have access to the farm. So you see, it's not just, it's a terrible thing. I watch videos, I see what happens to people. People are taken away from their homes, not even on the road. I see people, so many things happening, and nobody is really having a grasp of it. We are a massive nation. As a child, I saw us going to ECOMOG. There was an ECOMOG thingy. I saw us going to Liberia. I saw us going to Sierra Leone, and we're winning wars in those places. The Nigerian army was one of the best. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to go into that. I don't know what happened. The police, as a child, I grew up seeing mobile police. You know, called the mobile police.
The mobile police.
They will bring them to a particular way. I grew up in a company complex. They will bring them in trucks, and they were combat ready. I don't know what happened along the line. Like I said, I cannot say. I'm not an expert in that. I cannot say, but I know categorically that if the government wants to fight this, they will fight it. There is no way. There's nobody that is bigger than the government. So I still have that small flicker of hope that they will do what is right by them, and by the country, by the people that are in the country. Nobody wants to go out of this country. I do not want to. Till tomorrow, people say, "Oh, leave the country, leave the country." I'll be 50 in 2 years. And I'll go to probably Canada.
To go and do what?
And go to UK. And I will be doing 2 to 3 jobs. In the cold. Like I can't even, where do I start from? And it's like you're practically living hand to mouth. Except if you're lucky to land a good job. But most of the people that are there, almost 80% of the people that are there are just working hand to mouth. Why? Because there's no security in the company. They are running away from their life. They're just wanting to like live in a place where at least they are sure that they open their eyes and then go out and come back, except God just says something otherwise. You understand? So I believe very greatly that if the government wants to tackle this, it will definitely tackle it. Who the hell are these people? I mean, my son will tell you. My son, he was 9. He met them, he saw them one-on-one, he saw what they were doing inside the bush. They were with them for how many days? He saw what they were doing inside the bush with people, killing people anyhow in front of him. And he knew that most of them were not Nigerians. He knew that most of them were not Nigerians because of the kind of their own language, the way their own accents. They were not Nigerians. So how do you allow that happen in your country just because you want to allow that happen? So I don't want to go so deep into it. Like I said, I'm not a politician. I don't even want to be a politician. But I know very well that if the government stands up to them and says, this is what we want to do, not allowing external forces to rule their country for them, they will definitely get it fixed.
This is quite, I mean, I'm definitely sure that the relevant authorities, we've been having this conversation about insecurity for a very long time now. We've been talking about it, not just rapid, lots of times have talking about the same insecurity. It's like right now, it's terrible.
Do you know what is even more terrible? The fact that nobody takes on these victims or these survivors and treats them the way they should be treated. Are you not the one that just mentioned psychologists? Nobody cares. If you don't do it by yourself, nobody does. If the government says, oh, okay, it has happened, could we take this up? Could we compensate you here? Could we even, okay, people that cannot go to their farms again, can we do this for you? Can we come like a cluster and provide security in that cluster for you guys so that you can come back to your farms? Things are expensive in the market, not because only the population exploded, no. Because the farmers are no longer going to the farms. People are being raped, people are being maimed in their farms. So why would I want to go and stake my head because of you to come and eat tomato and pepper and the rest? Or to come and eat poultry, eat birds. You understand? So there are a lot of things that is happening. The economy is suffering a lot because of this insecurity in so many ways. So they have to like actually do something. People that have been like, that have gone through those things, if it's possible for the government to like, in any way, do something for them. Do something, just show empathy that you have gone through so much like this and you have take a startup or something. I don't know what it is, but they should just come up with something so we can even see that the government has a heart.
After all, the government does a program for repentant Boko Haram.
So you see, I don't even want to go into that. So you're doing that for someone that had maimed and killed your citizens, while the citizens, the survivors of those things, are not being taken care of. Nobody cares about them. Nobody says, oh, what do you do next? Okay, let's help you out. Let's do this for you. Okay, what about your children? Are they in school? How do we do this? So many women out there, their partners were killed. Their breadwinners were killed, either as servicemen or as even just traders or people, just ordinary people working on the street. But nobody, like I said, nobody calls anybody to say, how are you? It has happened. We're sorry about this, but can you start here? Can we provide you with this palliative package for you to start life again? Can we help your children, put them on a scholarship or something? Because, what happened has happened. Nobody is doing that.
So you're all left on your
own. So you see why I said to you that nobody's coming.
Nobody's coming to save you. As we get to wrap up, there's this very pressing question in my mind that it should be unfair if I don't throw it out. You did talk about your mom, and then you talked about your husband. Did you at any point get to encounter people who would maybe they not come to you directly to say it, but maybe just whisper it and like, oh, could it be spiritual? This happened to her mom,
Yes.
and now this happened to her husband.
Yes.
Oh, is this a pattern? Could this be spiritual? Did you ever get to hear someone whisper something like that?
Lots of people. I mean, they might not say it to me directly, but they will say, oh, you know what, we have to pray about this pattern so it doesn't happen, so it doesn't do this. I don't believe in that. Like, okay, yeah, it can happen. But for Christ's sake, let's be rational. If the security was right, then it won't happen. What happened to my mom is that there's about 18 years gap. So if the pattern is 18 years, that means I'm going to live very long. So it's 18 years gap. So I don't believe in all this. I know that people think it's
okay.
not. But see, truth of the matter is that if the situation of the country is improved, a lot of us might not even die the way we are dying. So many people die in the hospitals today, not because it's a pattern, but because there is no drugs, no money to buy drugs, there is no good hospitals, no healthcare system. So there are a lot of things happening out there that is not spiritual. There are something that are supposed to be physically taken care of so that the spiritual will help you. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that.
I just wanted to bring that out.
If it was going to be spiritual, my parents are deeper life. And then the prayer was not there, so I don't believe it's not spiritual. It's just a physical thing that the government's supposed to do things about and then just handle.
All right. That being said, I must say that I have really been touched by your story and conversation this morning. I am so grateful to you for gracing us with your presence this beautiful morning. Like I always like to do, let me give a high five.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure that somebody somewhere has, watched you this morning and told themselves, I'm going to pick myself back up. I'm going to be strong because nobody's coming to save me. I'm going to be all that. I mean, if Madame Patience can be like that, then I also can be like that. I'm definitely sure that somebody has seen this. And even those who are going to watch on the YouTube platform after now, it's definitely going to touch someone. And they would see the light at the end of the tunnel. Even before they get to the end of the tunnel, they will even begin to see the light.
I saw that right up where they said, why would somebody go and put the light at the end of the tunnel? Why am I not? Why I need the light when I'm passing through the tunnel? So why don't put it at the end? Anyway, I will just say this to everybody. Truth of the matter is, we don't start off being strong, and then you can't heal. You can't heal in a day. It's a process. It takes a very long process to heal. I am still healing. I'm still not there yet. We're all still healing. And so give yourself that benefit of the doubt that you can heal, and give yourself that chance to actually embrace healing and then but truth is, healing is not like a fused thing that, okay, I just put it and then. Healing is a process, and occasionally it will come back to haunt you, then you come out stronger again, then you go back in, then you come back. So it's just a process. Along the line, it will get a bit less heavier than it used to be. And so, yeah, so that is what you will definitely heal eventually.
All right. Thank you so much for gracing us with your time. I know we've taken about an hour from your schedule for today, but it was really for something great. Thank you, and thank you so much. Patience Madlion, the founder of Shedrach Madlion Foundation, and of course convener of I Wear My Scars movement. And once you hear that name, just know that you are in the right place. And that is where we draw the curtain for this beautiful morning. It has been a very great time. Don't forget that this particular conversation, if you want to watch it again, it's going to be available on our YouTube platform. Just go Official Rapid TV on YouTube, and of course get to watch the conversation again and motivate yourself. Every time you feel down, the conversation will be there for you. And we are available on Facebook, on Twitter, and of course on Instagram, Official Rapid Television. My name is Cynthia Agbo. Thank you so much for staying with me from 7 up until now. At about 10 o'clock, it will be time for Correro with Kami and John. You don't want to miss that part. And of course, I will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. You know what I always say, stay true to yourself, and I love you. See you tomorrow.